We'll call it to order, and we'll do a roll call. Joseph Titman.
Norma McNair, Commissioner.
Nicole Fanbaugh, City Clerk.
And Shane might be over in a little bit. Okay, first on the agenda here is to thank all the volunteers that came through the weekend on the city cleanup. That was awesome. Everybody pulled together. I saw people all over the place all day long. I could hear chainsaws running. Every truck I saw had a trailer on it. Tons of mowers were collected, over 40 of them, I guess. A lot of stuff got cleaned up. The dumpsters got filled within hours. And we're going to get more dumpsters, is that right?
Tuesday, he'll be able to come and change those out.
Okay.
And I think bring more, actually.
Okay. We may need to go over there with the tractor or the Bobcat and try to level those a little bit. They might have a problem with all the stuff sticking up out of them, so we'll try and crunch that down a little bit.
Shane did do that.
He did?
And
Okay.
he couldn't get him to go down any further.
Okay.
Yeah, he said the only one that really went down any was the metal one.
Okay. So we'll, hopefully they'll take it away the way it is. But yeah, me personally, and I'm sure everyone else here is very appreciative. You can actually see it in town when you drive through. You can see the difference. We got a long ways to go. But it was really cool to see so many people out doing that thing. I want to see more of that. If we just do that a couple times a year, it'll become a really good habit, and it'll clean this town up. And you know, everybody has to do their part through the year to keep it from accumulating again. So, thank you very much, everybody. Diana's not here. Jeannie's not here. They were a big part of that cleanup, and so special thanks to them also. Okay, next is public comment. Do we have that'd be Jackie Kennedy first.
A couple of things. First, I thank Ron and Mr. Shane today for helping me. That was tremendous at the park. So thank you very much. We cleaned all that out and planted some plants. We still need some mulch, and hopefully we can get somebody to volunteer to kind of donate some of that and some more plants. So it was looking pretty good earlier. I did stick a soaker hose in there, so if we can just all kind of pitch in and get a schedule together on who's going to water it, I think it'll be great to keep it running. I did go and get a layout for the city limits today over at Rush Center, over at La Crosse. And the city limits actually go out to where the sign says city limits, which is parallel with the south end of the cemetery. Avenue I is in fact in that, and all the way down almost to the railroad tracks, or to the railroad tracks, and then north. So what that means is this little pile, there's a pile out here that's becoming really it's an eyesore more than anything, a pit that they had actually, Robbie I believe, created for that house that was east of Jeannie. And that's where they initially put that in, and of course when Bill Greenaway was here, they marked that. So that is now becoming really a dump. And there's a bunch of chairs in there, there's a refrigerator in there, and here we have this cleanup, and that's a mess. And I know we got to talk to another couple of people over here, but the very first property right here coming into town on the west side also we need to address, because it's full of debris all the way around it. And I believe that's Austin McCracken, the other one's Aaron's. Aside from that, everybody was phenomenal Saturday. We worked our heinies off. It went from 9 o'clock in the morning until 2 o'clock when I quit. And those women. That Diane and Jeannie, they kept going, and I don't think, and Diana, they kept going.
They were still going yesterday.
I know. So I'm telling you guys,
Maybe we better drink what they're drinking.
I think, well, maybe not. I think it would really behoove us to pat them on the back for once, because they really did a great job. And I know none of us are perfect, and yeah, a few of us have a potty mouth, etc. But it is what it is. We worked together, and it was phenomenal. Went out to the cemetery. There are a total of 5 headstones that are down. I want to know why we can't have Joe just fix them. I mean, we've got Memorial Weekend coming. It's offensive. It's offensive. But I gotta say, the cemetery looks great too. So there's some really good stuff happening. Freedom of information, I really think we're getting a bad rap with the attorney. I did talk to the Attorney General office lady. Her name's Sarah Brown, and you can write it down if you want. Sarah Brown is over Comancora. There are some offenses that have happened and are happening. I am sending the documentation to her, and some of the videos that we've got actually in addition. So the freedom of information is for us. We are the taxpayers. We are paying you, and respectfully, I think we need to see the bills and the documentation. So property on Avenue, I just talked about that. Really, that's it. Midland Marketing, they've got that scrap pile over here, and I don't know who needs to address it with them, but something needs to be addressed. They're accountable too in our city. They had free water for a long time, but they really need to clean that stuff up, and that's from the old co-op when they rehabbed it here a year and a half ago. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Next is Anita Butler.
Well, I just kind of wanted to piggyback on everybody. Thank you so much to the city for calling and getting those dumpsters in. As somebody said, they were full by noon. It was awesome. And in fact, a lady came to coffee chat today, and she had said, "Wow, I could really see a difference." I quote, "When are they going to take care of the house across the street from the city building, because that's really embarrassing at funerals." But I mean, even just when she came to now, she could see how nice everything looked. So thank you, city, for getting those dumpsters in.
Anita, would you share with them what Brett and you talked about, that the building that Mother Nature helped us out?
Oh yeah, you guys are going to check into having it burned when the burn ban is over?
Uh-huh. And then he'll pick up the nails with the magnet.
Yes.
What?
Who was that you spoke to? Brett?
Yes, where they have their old kennels. I don't know the order of things. So there's the one that blew over, the property on the edge of town here.
Yes.
Oh, as you come in. And it is, according to what Jackie shared
Yes.
tonight,
It is in the city limits, correct.
And the other mess on the southwest corner is Brian Parks.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, Mother Nature helped us out a little bit.
Yeah.
And the other building, when Brett and I started working on it, cleaning it out, I'd put it in the pile and he'd go get it. He'd put it in the pile and I'd go get it. So we weren't getting that. But maybe we're getting closer to getting, but it's been ruined. It needs all just gutted.
Good.
And
Good.
then, but anyway.
Good.
And thank you, Anita.
I'm glad people are aware of these things and planning to deal with them. Okay, that's all the public comment we have right now, I guess, unless anybody else wants to comment. Open it up. Okay. Next would be the consent agenda.
That's telling you the bills. I thought Amanda would be here to sign these checks, but she's not. So I'll have to have somebody else do it. I'm just getting them out of the envelopes. There's a
Can I
lot.
ask a question?
Yes.
Is there a reason why Amanda doesn't show up and, like, she's doing the job right now?
Yes, that's correct.
So, and I thought this big, application that we bought would handle all of this and stop
it?
some of that, so why are we paying someone not to be here and not do her job?
Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing. Is it necessary for us to have a treasurer?
Well, I mean, she does
state
I mean-
the deposits to the bank, like,
On the
And
state
how-
statute, we do have to have a treasurer.
yeah, we'd have to charter out of it.
Exactly.
I think
Why couldn't one of you guys take it to the bank?
well,
They can
we do
have
have to
that.
have a treasurer, but I think any of us could be the treasurer on top of whatever else we do. You could be treasurer also.
I couldn't,
No, we
though.
really can't.
Well, we can
Well,
legally,
we had
but
that
they don't
before.
advise it.
Right, that's.
Yeah, they just don't advise it.
It's
Alright.
kind of a checks and balance. Supposedly, it's a checks and balance.
Are they required to attend the meetings?
No.
No, they are not.
That's poor form.
Yeah, I think it's poor form.
Joe?
If we have a treasurer, I kind of expect them to be at the meetings. I asked Shane to come over, to get any of his input, and I wanted to ask you a couple questions, but we'll get to that.
Before she had a question for you.
Well,
Yes, ma'am.
I just a little input back in the day, but like you said, you could charter out of it, right?
Right.
Mildred Anderson did both. Georgia Lytle did both.
Yes.
And then after.
Yeah, it has been done.
Well, but, it's just, you can do it.
Well, I don't want to, I want to use our common sense here, and we pay her, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to pay somebody for not doing anything. So
So why don't we charter?
I think we should consider it.
Chartering out.
Yeah, if we have to charter out of it. I don't know what our ordinance looks like right now, so I would have to review that.
It's a state statute, I believe, that we have to have a clerk, a treasurer, a marshal, and a city attorney.
And
Well,
it's
haven't
state
followed all of
statute
that. That hasn't been followed, so
Within the city limits.
chartered out.
There's all have to be in city limits.
Sorry about that. Is it state statute? I'd have to look at that too and see if
Well, all of your-
one person could do two jobs.
They just don't advise it. They don't, they advise us to have checks and balances and like somebody to also
Oh, I see.
do the books.
But that's why you have a
But that's,
CPA, that's why you have,
with the computer program we have
The
now,
computer
it pretty much
program.
does, it's gonna,
It kind of
it's gonna
eliminates-
print all the checks eventually, like, as soon as this checkbook's done, it'll print all the checks, so we won't even have to be writing them anymore.
And all money coming in and going
Yeah,
out goes
I
through
put
that
it,
program.
it does,
So it's.
and then 2 signatures on the checking account, and you have, you guys overseeing the bills that are being paid. Why is there a major checks and balance issue?
there really
Because you
isn't, 'cause we
can't
just don't
break it.
have that much going on, like.
I know we had it
city.
before.
Okay, I want to put that on new business for next meeting. So I would motion that we enter that into new business for the next meeting. The need for a treasurer, how to handle that. In the meantime, I'll review the statutes, so I have it fresh in my mind, and
Need to get
we'll take it
her
from there.
to agree.
Yeah, you have to have a second, and
I'll second
Okay, we have a second, so the motion's passed.
that. We also do need, I'll make a motion that we accept the consent agenda. Pay the bills
I'll
and
second,
the minutes.
I'll second that we accept the consent agenda. You have all,
Yes,
so I need to sign these two?
yes.
Okay. Resolutions and ordinances, there are none at this time. That brings us to commissioners' reports. Mine being the first. I started shoveling out the gutter around my square block over there. And I'm not using a flat shovel, so I'm not getting it all, but I am cutting the weeds off as I go and removing the majority of that dirt and at least loosening it up so that we can sweep it out. And I would ask that everybody do the same thing around their place, if you haven't already. I think that's probably the way to go, and then everybody loosens that stuff around their own gutters. We'll come by and sweep it up, and then we'll do a routine sweep around town and try to clean the roads up a little bit.
One thing that would help is when people mow, they throw their clippings back into their yard instead of on the street.
Yeah.
Because that's tearing up our streets where the grass is growing, the weeds. I see a lot on our block.
Yeah, but I try to take that outside pass and blow the grass inside, blow it back into my yard, and then every pass I make, I try to blow it back up in there. So some of it gets out in the street. Of course, you can't keep it all out, but that's a good point. When you're mowing, try to discharge the clippings from your mower back into your yard instead of into the street. Good point.
Does everybody know that they're supposed to spray their own street?
I don't know if everybody knows, but that's a good idea too. We all have to start taking care of
Our own.
our own area. And
Can we put something in the next water bill that please, these are the things you need to do, mow into your yard and spray your own yard per the ordinance?
Sure, that's a good idea. And the sidewalks, but I'm just kind of getting out to that. I've been working my way out from the center, and I'm getting out there to the street finally and getting into that gutter. But the sidewalks too, you take a shovel and cut across the cracks where the weeds and stuff are growing out of there, and just cut them off and throw it back in your yard, and we'll try and keep those sidewalks a little bit better too. That makes this town look a lot better.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody saw over by Addie Mills what Diana herself, I think, did.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
absolutely wonderful.
And that was pretty overgrown.
It is awful.
And those people that are physically able, we can rally around and help.
For sure.
Okay.
I think we'll build spirit here in McCracken. And we will help out those people that can't get to their sidewalks and their gutters and stuff. I don't mind doing it. And then once it's broke loose, we can get in there and sweep it once in a while and keep it out of there. I'll start working on the potholes and stuff in a little while, a couple weeks probably. I'll get to it. But we'll get all these potholes fixed with maybe Shane's help. So him and I can.
Streets swept.
Yeah. And I was gonna ask you if we can get together down at the barn and you can show me kind of how to run that sweeper. I can figure it out myself, but if you know how to do it, you can run me through it real quick. And, okay. And then if you don't get to it, I will, and vice versa. I think just keeping the gutters cleared out, and if we get the edges of that curb whenever we can, when that grass and weeds are growing over the curb and hiding that curb, that kind of looks tacky. So if we can cut that back or trim that back, when we're out mowing and the stuff around town, hit that stuff with a weed whacker. If it's somebody's house that can't do it or hasn't done it, let's do it. I mean, we can go by and mow the curbs in this town everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
City property.
yeah, it's city property. So we'll get to that too. Having those curbs exposed and cleaned up and edged makes this place look a lot better too, I think. Okay, next commissioner report, Norma McNair.
I'm sorry I didn't get to help you guys. I truly did have a baby shower I had to go to. A great baby shower. But everything looked good. I looked well. I kind of sent back how's things going. I had several people. My phone rang nonstop from the minute I left this town until I about got back. Where's the dumpsters? Where's this? Can we do this? Can we throw this in? I'm thinking, oh, guys, just listen. But I don't mind answering any of the questions. And it was just that it was nonstop. But you guys did great, and it looks really nice. Thank you very much. And I'm good.
Okay.
I have a question. Once we get the gutters, okay, it's a silly question. Once we get the gutters cleaned in front of everybody's house, can we maybe make it nice looking and do like numbers on the curbs? Where you'd have
The address.
the address number on the curb?
A lot of times, high school groups will do that for a
Right.
fundraiser.
There was a company here, what was it, about 5 or 6 years ago that came through and
But
did
I'm
that.
thinking it would look neat to have that little white with a little dark.
I think they charged $15 to do it.
I think they did it with stencils.
Wasn't
and
it?
Yeah.
Spray paint.
That's all it is. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
on mine.
Yeah.
But it looks
Yes.
neat.
Well, and it helps that you're called to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really more for
Emergency.
ambulance.
Yes.
emergency.
Yeah. But it looks like somebody cares, that we've got the gutter, the gutters are clean, the curbs are cleaned up, and then here's the number,
Just a nice little touch.
Yeah, nice little
Uniformity. And
icing on the cake.
Well, yeah, let's talk about doing that. Let's see if we can find out if there's somebody that'll come in and do it for us.
Maybe 4-H group.
Or maybe something like that. Yeah, we can ask around, see if anybody's doing that. Yeah, I think it'd be good, like you said, for an ambulance to find somebody.
Because I know every time, like when I call for the tow truck for the car, or the truck, they always end up on the other side because they don't think I exist. Because they go down to 402, because the GPS tells them that's me.
Okay. Okay, city officers reports. Let's go to the city clerk.
I leave actually tomorrow evening, and I've got a class in Lawrence all day long on Wednesday on grant writing and researching grants. And it's like the big class of the year, so that's all I have, but I will be doing that Wednesday.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
And then the treasurer's report I put up there.
thank you for writing that. I'm a very visual
That's
person
why I
with
thought,
numbers.
that's why I thought it would be best, because it's hard to hear numbers sometimes and have them
Yes.
registered.
And we
Yeah,
receive
I
the
love this.
cemetery balance.
I love this because everybody can see it.
That's why the stones have no reason
all
not
the
to
time.
be fixed.
Well, I have met with 2 of the monument companies this week. Well, I met with one last week and then one just called me today, so they're gonna come out and give us like an estimate on what it would cost, but I'm more worried about the ones that are getting ready to fall over rather than the ones that have already fallen over, because that's dangerous. And so that's what I'm kind of concerned about right now. And I told them that,
Well, good for you, Nicole.
Well, I had to be out there anyway, so I thought I'll just ask them while I'm out here. And then Keithley's they've got a headstone to set up out there. They just called me today, and I talked to them about the headstones that we had, and he said that he would just plan on like giving us an estimate when he comes out here to set that headstone.
Well, I think our headstone's to be set too, but it's out at Hellas, the mortuary up there.
Okay. Yeah, there was Schmidt Monuments, the one that came last week.
Oh, wow.
And they set 2 headstones out there. So I just talked to him while he was out there.
I used
And
to work for them.
really, and he said that he didn't really think that many places were doing that in Kansas anymore, but he said you just never know what you're gonna find underneath those stones. Like he said, sometimes they are 3 feet of concrete underneath, like the ground that they're setting on, and he said it's just always a mystery on what they're setting on. So that's kind of, because I said, well, could we do it ourselves, you know? And he said, well, it just depends on what you're looking at, what they did, what they used to set it. But Shane and I did one, a little one. It was a little tiny one because we didn't have any equipment or anything. And yeah, it was interesting.
Well,
Yeah, we
Joe
can.
did.
I think there's no reason why you
can
guys
stand
can't
'em
cut
up.
costs and get them
Right.
back set up when
Well, Joe did that.
when you're right
one,
here.
Joe Urban.
I
Well,
know.
they have a
They
company
did a great
like
job.
that does cemetery restorations, like the Civil War cemeteries. But I got on their website and they do consultations, or they'll come do classes, and they want to get like places that they haven't gotten to before, and this would be that area. You know, they haven't. So I actually put in a request to see if they would come to,
And redo.
and they'll teach you how to do it, how to restore your own cemetery. And they know how to do it because they know how to do every, like even wooden headstones, they know how to do those. And
But some of the newer headstones too, make sure you check with your insurance, because some of the insurance now that people carry actually has.
well, yeah, he said to call the
Grave
family
site
first. He said always
coverage,
call the family
guys,
first
for
and see if they
headstones.
won't. But
So.
yeah, I mean, we noticed when we were out there, there's a lot more than was last time that I was out there, just because of the wind storms. I think are really taking them down. But
Hinman's is less than an inch, less than a
that's
half
the one,
inch
right?
coming off.
Is that the one that we were talking about?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the
It's-
name. That's the number
it's
one.
big. It's big, but it goes.
It's
gonna
big.
go.
It's real big, and it's the number one that I saw that needs
It's right
attention
there by that
immediately.
dial.
Oh,
It's not far from the dial.
Yeah, and it's like it's moving.
Yeah, it's shifting.
Yeah, that was the one that we had number one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Because it's
moving.
big, and when it falls, it's gonna fall hard.
Yeah.
That was
I
getting
need-
close last year too. We can fix those. I mean, I'll give you a quote. I'll give the city a quote.
Yeah.
I'll give anybody a quote on that kind of stuff. I started one last year for Jan North, and it does have a concrete pillar about that
That's-
deep.
That's what they said.
Underneath it, and the whole thing, the pillar and everything that it's sitting on is leaning.
Yeah, he said that he has to go through and take all that out and then build up the ground with gravel underneath of it. And yeah, he said it's just really strange, the different techniques that they use throughout
Yeah.
the times.
I was gonna try and straighten that one out, and I still might. The reason I didn't do it last year is because the ground was so dry, you couldn't hardly dig through it.
And that's part of the problem, because we're so dry and it's.
That's
Mhm.
that's why, that's
So,
part of the
like-
reason
And
why
they're
some
so
of them are
heavy.
moving.
I did not have any idea that they were so heavy.
The one I did last year, the year before last, I'm guessing that was 700 pounds.
I bet, because they are heavy.
Yeah, there was, and it takes a particular group of tools and technique to move them, but I'm sure me and Shane could put all those back, at least stand them up for Memorial Day.
Yeah, they just said that you need to make sure you just build the ground up, and they said to use like sharp gravel, because that holds the stone in place.
Yeah, it'll pack,
But then
round
they're
stones.
supposed to lift them up with what do I call it, a cherry picker, is that what it would be?
Yeah.
A cherry picker, but we use nylon rope so that it doesn't damage the headstones, because you really easily damage them.
Yeah.
I mean, he gave me a lot of tips on it, but he also said that it would cost us to do just the normal average size ones that we have, like $500 a piece to do them all. And that's, $500 to $700, and that's not even the big ones. The big ones, he said he would have to do those individually, like estimate. But the little tiny ones, he said $200 just for the itty bitty tiny ones that Shane and I did
There's
that
really not that
ourselves.
many out there. There's just the big bulky ones.
Yeah,
that are
the ones that are
worst.
getting ready to fall, like I said, that's the ones that have me concerned. Just concerned for safety rather than looks,
Yeah, and we can scooch those back over into the center where they should be sitting, but I think they have to be sealed.
The bottom.
They have to be caulked around there.
It's
This is-
epoxy.
It's an
That's
epoxy.
what they
Use
use.
an epoxy or a 35-year silicone probably, but if water gets under there, every time it freezes, it'll move. Or if it gets frozen under there or frosty, then we get a big wind, then it's gonna be a little bit easier for the wind to move it. But freezing and thawing, day after day after day, it's just creeping off.
Yeah.
So, but we could get them back in place for Memorial Day and then go back up there and do some maintenance on them so that they stop moving. And maybe straighten out the bases of some of them if we, if we can get good quotes on it, or, like I said, I'll get the city a quote to do it. So, yeah, maybe we put that in new business also. So I'm gonna motion that we add the cemetery headstones and getting quotes on that and getting some finalized so we can get the work done and get going on it. So would you second that?
Yes.
So that's been moved and seconded that we put that in new business for next meeting. Next city officer's report will be city treasurer.
Yeah, I put hers up for her.
That's our budget up there. You can see where our money is, and what it's doing, or where it's at anyway. Old business, we have city cleanup. Has anybody else got anything else about city cleanup? Anybody on the commission? Anybody got any other comments? Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Rose, for the lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, thank you so much, Rose.
That was,
Got power to suck.
Lunch and
keep going.
water.
yes, that was wonderful.
Yeah, we'd all been dead meat if it wasn't.
Literally. I do have another one.
Very welcome.
Somebody had donated a red ZTR mower to the actual veterans. That was the main purpose of the one ZTR that I think ran and took over there, and it disappeared on Saturday night. And so they're a little bummed over it because it was in fact supposed to go to the veteran.
Oh.
And anyway, so I'm just asking if everybody would please look around. We're not going to make any accusations or nothing because somebody could have not known, whatever. But if they could return that, that would be great.
Sure.
Also, we went by Jim Reeves today, and he does have another mower and some chairs. His son's coming in town, but if he doesn't get there, then they would need some help this weekend. I'm not going to be here this weekend. But anyway, so we don't want to forget Jim. And
So we're up to 43 mowers.
no, 47.
Really?
Oh, 47, wow.
Speaking of things getting stolen, we had put a sprinkler out at the cemetery and it got stolen this week. Like, yeah, with the garden hose, which I don't understand why
The
the garden hose
was
didn't get
there
stolen.
when we just went by
So we
yesterday.
gotta look for the
Yeah,
guy
but
that's
the-
got the really nice mowed, watered yard.
Wait a minute, mine's coming out now.
So, yeah, just keep an eye on that. If you see any major improvements in anybody's lawn, let us know.
Yeah, call me
And mower.
personally on my cell phone.
Yeah.
If it's spray
Well,
paint job,
maybe somebody did take that. They thought, well, I could really use a good mower to keep my lawn
and
mowed.
like they said, they don't care if it really went to, but it really was meant for an actual purpose.
So if somebody
And so
wants to
that's the
bring
main
that,
one.
maybe somebody bring that mower back. A lot of those mowers down there run.
Yeah, but they're gone.
Oh, they
A
are?
majority are gone, yeah.
Oh,
The ones that
nice.
actually mattered left today.
Oh, okay.
And they're coming back, so they'll be back at the end of the
Or
week.
maybe
Well-
they could just make a donation.
If
Yeah,
somebody,
exactly.
if somebody wanted to bring that mower back, I'm sure we could pull together and get whoever it was. If they took it because they need a mower,
Yeah,
we'll get them a mower.
yeah,
So,
all right,
okay.
no kidding.
Okay,
I was asked to share.
we're in old business. That takes care of city cleanup. Next we come to the burn pit. The burn pit's not for anything except yard waste, tree limbs, branches, and unpainted wood.
Yeah, somebody came to my house
Unpainted-
today and
unpainted-
said something about people. That's what Cecilia was at my house when you were outside doing
Oh,
your
that's
street.
what she's talking about?
There was a big, huge rug that was out there. She said a bunch
Oh.
of metal and,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Rose,
not
we
good.
didn't.
There was none of that Saturday out there.
She
We
brought
got there
it.
late Saturday afternoon.
There
and
was none of
and
that.
That was not there
She
then.
took it out of
She
there?
took it out there, had it in the back of her pickup. That's why I went out there to look at it. It was a pretty good sized rug. I can't believe she picked it up.
Unbelievable.
And she said there's a lot of stuff out there, so I don't know if we.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that's in the metal container, and there's a lot of stuff that's been thrown on top, and it's just heaping and heaping. So people just need to use their own judgment and
Well, if
be
we need to
smart
lock
about
it again, we might have to lock it again. I mean, that would be a real pain.
Well,
but-
while the cleanup's
Maybe
going, that
it's-
would be good.
Maybe instead of locking it again, we put a sign out there that says,
Respect.
nothing but branches.
There is-
yard
There is
signs.
There is a sign.
Yeah.
There is a sign.
Okay, then maybe we add something to that sign that says.
Violators will be prosecuted.
Exactly.
Camera
And then prosecute violators.
Yeah.
Camera surveillance.
Yeah.
Could I do a shout out? We have to thank Derek
Absolutely.
for pushing all that in.
Yeah, I saw
He
that.
did a great job. What'd you say?
Yes, you did, no?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
I said it online,
He
but
did
he-
text me,
Yeah,
and
it
he
looks
said,
great.
just wanted you to know, I did my community service
Yeah, he-
today, and he sent me a picture.
Yeah, but he's been
I did
helping
thank
over here
him.
with Shelley. Donna
And they did
also
a great
did a
job
great
over
job.
there.
I thanked him, because this is the second time he's actually helped us out
Yeah.
there.
Well, he knows how to run it and he has the equipment, so.
But the city needs to get a hold of Heath and figure out when we're gonna burn that thing, because they're
Well,
taking a
we
couple of
can't,
days.
because we're in a burn ban
Yeah.
right now. That's the reason. It got, we
I
did
know what
get
the
it
reason is,
burned.
but-
We got all of it burned, and we had it all down, but everybody's brought stuff, and we have to wait until we can have
No,
a moment to burn.
seeing that monstrous
I don't
pile
like to
out
see it for
there
a while.
is a good thing.
Absolutely.
If we do have to, we can do like we did the last time and start a pile over and then burn them as we can. But I really don't see the burn ban being lifted for a long time. It was 2 years on the last one.
Oh, come on now, it's gonna rain.
Yeah, it's supposed to rain in
This
May.
Hoping enough,
Um,
but a little, we gotta have enough.
So maybe we, consider some other ideas out there at the burn pit, maybe a bigger sign.
I can look into that, because I did order the Jake break signs, and those were like $69 for both of them.
That
That's
one was
easy.
on.
Do we have
the-
posts for those?
That is really not a small sign. It's
Yeah,
on
it
the
is.
gate.
Good.
And I ordered like the yellow and black ones, so you could see them better a little bit.
If you want help putting those up, call me.
Yeah, I don't know when they're supposed to come, but I did order them, gosh, a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, so maybe we make a bigger sign out there that's a little bit more prominent, and say, on it that
Matter of fact.
violators will be prosecuted, and then everybody keep sharp eye out. I mean, it's hard to keep a sharp eye on that because it's out there, but if we catch anybody dumping that kind of stuff, there should be some sort of penalty. And I don't know what that penalty is at the moment, even if there is one, but maybe we should look into that too and see what the ordinance says about dumping out there or dumping within city limits. The dump out there at McCaggie's is an eyesore.
Oh, it's horrible now.
That's
There's about
gross.
8 more chairs
I never
out there.
noticed that pit. I never noticed that pit,
It's awful.
but I notice it now.
It's something that Ron Crawshaw, the city hired him. That was when the yard was being locked,
Huh?
and there were certain hours.
Yeah.
And during those hours it was unlocked, he would sit out there. And if somebody had the wrong stuff, he'd kick them out. Or ask them to take it somewhere else. And I don't know if there's somebody that, and I don't know what kind of stipend a person would pay them to
Well,
sit out there.
the alternative is to keep it locked and then we have to call. Which isn't that bad.
It's not good.
Well, Ron had the key, we'd call Ron,
Yeah.
whoever, and he'd just stay out there while people done.
Well, maybe we need to go back to that for a while.
After city cleanup.
After city cleanup.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I guess maybe we'll wait till after the city cleanup and we'll discuss that in the commission again at that time, and we'll talk about locking that gate again. It's not that hard. I mean, after city cleanup, somebody only goes out there on a certain day when they get a truckload or a trailer load, and
Yeah,
it's
there's
not that hard to
about-
call Norman.
It's not that hard. I will tell you, there's probably about 6 to 8 calls a week on it.
Really, there's that many?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
It's a busy.
Probably kind of a pain in the
Our,
rear.
our,
It is
our
a pain.
burn pit is a very busy burn pit, I will say that.
Yeah, we
For
do.
the size town we have. But we have several people that use it very consistently.
We still have a lot of trees down from that last big storm. I mean, we're still cleaning up the tail end of that, so.
There's about 3 dead trees at the park we're gonna have to get dropped, because that's dangerous for the kids.
Anybody knows any good tree guys, pass that along to us.
Yeah, I want one.
'Cause-
I use, out of Hayes, Skyview, Bo, and he's an arborist, so he knows.
Skyview's the company.
Yeah, and I can text you
Yeah,
he's expensive but very good.
okay, we want expensive and very good, and we want also not as good and not as expensive. What's his name?
Yeah.
Bo,
Bo? Okay.
And you also have a Borney that does tree service.
The nice thing about Bo is that we have the pear trees and they're notorious in winds just splitting. And he actually has the equipment and the knowledge that he
He'll tie it
did a
together.
certain movement with it, and that 120-mile-an-hour wind didn't phase that Bradford pear at all.
Yeah.
So,
We need a guy like that, because there's some trees around here we really don't want to lose.
oh, that one over by the pool that fell in, it'd be nice if
Oh,
we could
yeah.
save that
Yeah,
sucker.
maybe we can try and save that.
Because
the taproot's still
still
there.
there.
Because it's still green.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shane does that, he's
and we
been,
could stake that, we
he's
could tie
tying our
that.
branches back from the drive, like the
Yeah.
driveway.
Mr. Do-It-All.
And putting like rocks on them to hold, it's funny looking
With
at
that-
it.
Back out of the garage, not needed.
I know they had Amy Neal's father, and brother have that company two men in a stump
Oh,
in Nest
yeah.
City.
I'll call them just for the name.
2 men. I just learned that this weekend. That's Amy and Amy's father and brother.
Oh, okay,
So,
all
Do
right.
they remove trees?
they remove stumps and trees, yeah.
Yeah, that's good to know. Good stuff.
I just
Keep
found out
them
yesterday.
coming though. If you hear about somebody else, let's get a list. Okay, that's the burn pit. Okay, we'll go to new business. First thing on the list is gravel at the well houses. Robbie Skillet's supposed to bring us a load of gravel for the maintenance building. We can ask him to give us a quote for, I mean, we know what his cost. We get 15 tons for $300. That's the white stuff is kind of chalky, so it's kind of messy, but he has another kind that's greenish, and it's a harder rock. It's not as dusty.
Out there at the well, didn't really matter.
Out at the well, we'd probably go with that white stuff. Yeah. I can give him a call and tell him that we'd like to get, I don't know, maybe 5 tons out of each one, you think?
Actually, you wouldn't need near as much at this one.
Yeah.
Not as much
You
as
need
this
most
one,
of it.
but-
The north one.
Yeah, because that was really not too terribly bad.
So we use what we need and leave a pile there, because if we get a pothole, we'll fill it in.
And remember, we're gonna go down by Vicky's house,
Between Vicky and
That-
Linda,
Yeah.
where the water.
the
thing
sewer
is.
road.
Okay, so.
Or the sewer road.
But I didn't think we needed it right now. Did we? Was that one?
What do you think?
Was that one okay right now?
It is now.
That's what I was saying, it was right now.
Well, we're gonna maybe put
Is it
10
one-
tons in the maintenance building, which will leave us 5 tons that we can use here and there, so we'll have some that we can work with right away, as soon as he delivers.
I'll make a motion that we get the, another 15 tons for the well houses and whatever else we need them for.
15.
You got a second?
I'll second that. For 15, for the price, having the gravel sitting here in a pile is worth having, I think.
what is it with
Well, you
you
didn't-
and Linda's property? I don't understand that.
Her driveway is where we go in,
To the
or
sewer.
it's the
Okay.
lane that goes back to the sewer.
Yeah, yes.
So, we're gonna do a little bit of maintenance on that road.
Vicky's
because
just
we
doing
Keep it up.
Because
Vicky's
we
been
travel
paying
it.
for it.
And then we have that big truck come in once in a while and back that out.
So that will make it,
Set a base.
Right now, I was just over there, and you got kind of a big hole right there, kind of a big, right where you pull into your driveway.
Oh, the dip,
Mhm.
because it's, yeah.
So stuff like that, we just keep that filled in.
Right there by Roy Langdon,
Yeah.
we gotta take that asphalt out of the bags and lay it in
Well,
there.
we're gonna,
Sorry, I was just trying to fix it.
We need to, no, I just had
Somebody
to
drove into it.
it was
Actually-
so cold that day.
No, it was bad.
It was bad.
I
It was cold.
give
And
him grace.
We
but-
decided to just throw something in there and call it good for now.
Well,
so-
that rain comes right there
Yeah.
and just washes that out.
Yeah, we're gonna do something.
But you know what Chris did?
Right
It lasted for 2.5 years right over here in front of the Catholic Church when you guys put the asphalt in there. They put that chat that's over there that's just sitting there waste.
Yeah.
And they packed it and set that on top of it, and we didn't have anything, and it just now is starting to
Yeah.
lift over there. So it lasted 2.5 years by putting that chat on top of it.
Yeah.
That really does help.
Well, it fills in any gaps and holes that might freeze and erode
Yeah.
and stuff in there, so. But yeah, I want to address that corner down there here real soon and do a
Yeah,
permanent
'cause she's
fix
dug
on
all the
it.
sand out of it, and it's just heaped.
How about Shirley's?
Yeah, that's the one. that-
She's been waiting since
That one too.
1980.
We're gonna-
That's a
we're gonna-
runoff problem. You're not gonna fix that over
Actually,
there.
I did fix that
We're gonna
one,
get to
but
all
it's
the-
It's not fixed already. We haven't had any rain since then.
Well, no, it's starting to wear out
Yeah.
again, but I mean, I did put 15 bags in that one.
Yeah,
Are we due for another
They
pallet
need to
of
rain off.
asphalt? Where do we get that, from the county?
county.
As soon as we get the streets cleaned.
Do we have any in there?
But you need to go ahead and order it, because it takes them a while to get it.
Okay, there's a pallet of them that we ordered.
So we need to order it.
Yes.
There's an old pallet in there.
No, it's new.
No,
It is?
That one was the first of the year,
First of the
something
year.
like that.
A year and a half ago.
No, there's a new pallet in there.
Oh, yeah. You guys got a new
So we
one?
got two pallets, we got a whole one.
This one.
So
So
where's the
you,
old one away?
I used it
That was
on
the
that,
old one, I
I
think.
used it down there for Shirley's.
Oh, okay.
Because I did 15 bags out there.
Can we get another pallet?
I don't know, I guess.
You're over streets.
I think we're gonna, where do we get it? From the county?
County.
county.
Let's order another one.
Just make a motion.
Because we're gonna use one pallet in this corner down here.
One of them probably. Yeah, I'll make a motion that we
you
order
make
another
sure.
pallet of
Asphalt.
asphalt, yeah.
Oh, I second it, so we'll get another pallet.
You know, all the sand, I mean, I'm not trying to
The
gripe,
sand in front of
but,
your house?
yeah. I
Do you
mean,
need that for something? What's that for, Kathy?
every year it comes down. And it's
Okay.
like.
The
I
first
keep
year Kathy's
scooping.
out there scooping at the rain, the rain should have poured into
Yeah,
it.
all right, we're
I've seen
gonna
you
come
out
by
this-
with the Bobcat and scoop
Yeah,
that
I
up.
just need, if you bring the Bobcat, I can scoop it in there, but I'm getting darn tired of it.
Oh,
Every year.
Helps me down at
It's gonna keep happening.
Does
okay,
anybody want any sand?
we're gonna get hot and heavy on the roads here pretty soon, so.
Okay.
I saw that down at your place. Everybody's well aware of this corner down here by Roy's, the spot down by Shirley's. I saw a lot of other spots that are starting to develop that we need to take care of. So we're gonna dig them out. We're gonna blow the dust out of them, torch them real good, and we'll mix fresh asphalt to get in there, and we'll pack it tight, and then we'll cover it with that chat, so we get a good patch. And we'll start hitting these things.
Feel free to come and get that sand. It's all piled up for you.
Okay, yeah, I
Okay,
saw
if
that.
anybody wants it. I gave some to Jeannie
Okay,
for the alleyways.
that's good. There's potholes in the alleyways that we can use that sand in. You know, there's plenty of dirt in the gutters, but it's kind of useless because it's light. We've got a lot of leaf litter in it, decay and stuff, but sand is good, is a good patch
Yeah,
in
and
the
a lot
alleyways.
of rock too.
All right, okay, we're getting gravel. The street sweeper we talked about. I just need to kind of go through how it operates and stuff, and then I'll be able to use it. Shane will be able to use it, and between the two of us, eventually we'll hit every gutter in town, and then we'll try to do that on a regular basis so that that stays clean. Now the mystery item. I have ladder, plexiglass,
Yeah, that's what Shane wanted.
and
That's
dozer blade.
That's his wish list.
Okay. All right.
I was really running behind today.
Why don't you tell us what those things are about, Shane, if you would?
There is no ladder anywhere for the city.
Oh,
That's for
okay.
rescuing
How am I gonna
kittens.
rescue any kittens?
Yeah.
I have, Shane, anytime you need, I have about 15 ladders. You can
They're gonna say
I have-
kittens.
I have two different 30-foot extension ladders if we need some in the meantime, but you probably need a folding ladder and an extension ladder, right?
Didn't you say something about the roof over, like,
Yeah, there's some tin on the machine shed.
Yeah, I saw
It's starting
that.
to curl up, and I can't reach it from inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use that. I have 30-foot ladders too. so
Okay,
you
we-
can-
Tractor
We have
needs a new
extension ladders
We
over
should
there
have
too
those
that
things for
go.
the city, though.
Tractor needs a new blade for the bucket, not a dozer,
A new blade.
for the bucket, the replaceable
Oh,
blade.
the bottom.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
The plate that goes down on it?
yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
It's already been turned once.
Can you change it, or you want to have them come out and do it?
I can change it.
yeah, we could order
I had
it.
it off earlier today.
Okay. So what's the plexiglass?
That's,
For the windows in the machine shop.
Okay. All right, I move that we supply our maintenance building with two ladders, an extension ladder, and what do you think, a 10-foot,
Yeah, that's fine.
and a 10-foot step ladder? How many pieces of plexiglass you need?
Can't you order them through Home Depot and have them cut?
Yeah,
Just order what you need.
okay.
I'll move that we get these items for our maintenance building and for our city superintendent.
And maybe a sprinkler.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I put that on there too.
Okay.
I'll give you one. I bought two, and I don't need the one.
And then
I don't know why I bought two, but I bought two.
All
we
right.
need a hose at the park, is that what you said?
That's the next item.
Well, it's got I had donated so I'd call it, thank you, soaker hose. So we need a piece to go from the faucet over so it's not
Did we
overspraying
get
everything.
the water fixed?
Over there? No, we just have to turn it off and on like when we need it, just the same as what we have.
Because I knew it wasn't before last time, because I just took buckets down and filled them, but
It was working
Yeah.
last year, because I went over and watered a couple
if
times.
you turn it on.
Yeah, you gotta turn it on, yeah.
I just did go and
Yeah.
get the water thing and turn it on.
Yeah, but I put the soaker hose on there so it go through a lot slower and just give it a nice soaking, so I left it on for about 2 hours. And then I went back over and turned it off already.
Okay.
So we'll try to get in a rotation to make that
So
stay pretty, and
we don't need a hose for the park, but we need.
we need a small hose, to connect from the hydrant to the soaker hose, so it's
Okay.
not
I
overspraying.
gotcha.
I probably have one we can cut and put new ends on it if you just need a short.
Yeah, I just need a short one, 6 foot, but
I know, I have an old hose there. in
I
the
think we've got one too,
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay,
I
cool.
think we can make
I think
what
we've
you
even got
want.
the connectors, don't we?
Okay, let's make sure it's good stuff, though. I don't
Well,
want,
that is, I know what she's talking
Yeah.
about, because I did them last year.
it literally is from Ron to me is where
Yeah, it's just a short
not very,
hose.
but it's,
Don't need
3
to
foot
buy a
up.
big old long hose
Yeah.
for it.
And I'd like to thank Twyla for starting that whole project with the limestone sign. And you took care
Yeah,
of
she
that.
came by and checked on me today a little bit, or us.
She and Twine did a lot of hours on that.
You bet you did.
One thing though, that sign is leaning,
Thank
and
you.
again, that's
But I
been
think
going
it's
on for 3 years, it is
Yeah,
leaning
she is
backwards.
committed to us.
And I don't know what we can do to,
we can
we
straighten it up.
need We need a
We dig
tractor
out,
that can push it, and then,
we dig out in the front of it and make some space, and then we push it over with the tractor and pack it good.
okay.
I don't know how deep that goes, I would imagine 2 feet at least, but that's a
Yeah.
doable thing too.
Okay.
And yeah, I saw that leaning, it's starting to,
It really,
and you
it
know,
really did gain some
the
ground
more,
last
the
year,
more it
but
leans, the
again,
more
it's
weight's
dry
gonna be
land.
on it, so we need to keep it straight.
And then the last thing, Cecilia called me this morning, she was very upset about somebody spraying and the spray getting on her bushes, her lilac bushes.
I don't think there's anything we can do about that.
I just told her I would make sure it got brought up.
Well, how is the
Because
field
what she's
spraying
talking
getting
about
on
is
her?
like the aerial sprayers, and
There's nothing.
there's nothing you can do about that.
I just told her I would say something.
I mean, I feel the pain.
It's in the middle of town, how's that killing
It's a
her?
drought.
The
Yeah,
drought,
drought.
yeah,
Told
the
her to
drought's
send her a
killing.
drought map.
Yeah, and a lot of it is, mine started
Sure.
budding out and then they've died
Yeah.
back.
You
And that
can,
little freeze we had, did freeze a lot.
Yes, it did. It
you
did.
can wash that stuff off too, tell her to spray her lilacs with a hose once a week. No, I'm serious,
Yeah.
you can wash that pesticide off.
She.
If it's, you know, if you catch it soon, you can get it off of there and you're good. If it sits on there for a day or two,
I can't
The
even
plant will
get it
absorb
to
it
kill
and
my
then
weeds in the yard.
yeah.
Jeez, I have been
Okay,
out and
so-
spraying spring fresh.
Can I ask
Let's make
Twyla
this-
the history of that sign?
Yeah, hold on
Because
one
I
minute.
never knew.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
I move that we provide these items to the superintendent, to the city of McCracken, a ladder, plexiglass for the windows, a new blade for the bucket on the tractor. We've got a hose for the park arranged and a sprinkler. So do I get a second on this motion? Okay, that passes. We're gonna get you those things, Shane. Just order them up.
One more thing for the park, I'm gonna paint that sign that has the McCracken history on it. That's all bare wood, so I'm gonna go over and paint it tomorrow. It's kind of a barnwood red. I don't know what color it was before, but it is fading. So I know we can probably get it changed, but I'm really not into that this year. Maybe we can do that next year with one of the others, but I'm
You
gonna
think
try to
you-
get that
Do you
painted
think
tomorrow,
you
the
can
wood on it
save
at least.
for one more year?
Because I think the alumni put that up.
Yeah, and the like in behind the stone, I can touch that stone with the stain too, and hopefully that'll stop that from chipping on out. So I'll try to dance it up a little bit tomorrow.
Okay, that's great. Okay,
Twyla, what is the history on that big stone monument in the park?
What?
Tell me the history of what you did in the park with that monument.
We saw that stone, or I saw it over in this city before we stopped. There was that fellow there that had the rocks, you know.
Right,
And
yes.
so he's the one that brought it over, and Harold Herdman was mayor at the time. So he and we had to get permission from him, and he helped us figure out a little bit on what we wanted to put on it. So it was Dean Schutte and I and Harold Herdman. But it is, and it's a big, big rock down in the ground. I know that. So, and those break really easy if you get too much pressure on them. They'll snap right at the ground. So, yeah.
so that is gonna be,
Yeah.
that'll be a delicate
Yeah.
job, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, so.
Well, they're beautiful. I've always admired that.
Yes, thank you for all your efforts on that. Thank you very much for the history also.
I'm a rock lover, and when I saw it, I just knew it had to come to McCracken.
Love rock lovers.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, anybody got anything else? All right,
Make a
well,
motion, we adjourn.
I second the
I
motion
do
that we
have one
adjourn.
thing.
Yes, ma'am.
That field down there where the co-op men had their pile of wheat,
Uh-huh.
or whatever Milo, when that blows, it's like the dirty 30s. And it's got both of those ditches full clear across.
It
Is there
does.
any way we can ask them to till it just a little bit with something, you know?
I think
so
that
it
we need to
doesn't-
talk to them about several things.
Yeah, they need to clean out, it's completely silted in that north side of the street,
Oh,
to where
yeah.
we can't even get the 10 out of the road. And so it literally is completely
I'm not
covered up right here on Avenue I where go out to the
sure. Oh,
burn pit.
yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
All in front of all those properties, those first two properties where they
Yeah.
placed the Milo on the south side.
Yeah,
that has blown over and is
Filled that
completely
ditch.
silted and
Well,
Yes.
that ditch is important for drainage,
absolutely for our city.
so
And
we need to keep that cleaned out.
there's metal down in there that we can't even get out. There were several of us tried and tried and tried. There's no way without a tractor down there.
When
And,
it blows, it just covers the
yeah, it
center
is,
town.
that is correct.
And then like, that road by the blue building, it's so torn, I mean, it's so
They
bad.
need
And I
to
drive
fix
it
it.
every day, cause I go check for the payments in the building. And so, and for some reason, I don't turn the other way and go back out on the highway and come around. I don't know why. It's a habit, I've gotten into a habit of the same route, and
But it
so.
got worse when we had that freeze
Yeah,
on
it
our
just
tower
recently
and we had to
got
wash
so
all that
bad.
water down.
And it's
But
real bad, and I
it
think
doesn't matter.
I
It's
think the
their
village should be
business.
having to, you know.
They're supposed to
that
maintain
little-
it from the road all the way back to the co-op. There's a little roundabout that they turn their trucks on and they come back. And then right down to Avenue I and then this little shorty.
Anybody got a name? Who's in charge over there? Anybody
Somebody
know?
from Hayes, right?
It's from Hayes, Midland Marketing and Hayes.
I've got their number for the
Yeah,
new
Kristen
building.
though too.
Text me their number, I'll talk with them, see if I can
Yeah.
meet with somebody, see if I can have somebody come out here and meet with us out
Okay,
here.
yeah.
They're here
the guy that
every
does-
day. Those supervisors are here every day. You can round up one.
All right.